So to enable 802.11u on our WLAN for the 9800, we're going to open the Open Roaming app. So we'll click on the Open Roaming tile under the C Apps section. And then we'll go to the hamburger menu and click Setup. Next, we'll scroll down to the Network Configuration section, and under AirOS/Catalyst Controllers, find the 9800 that you had added to DNA Spaces. So mine's at the bottom, and when you go over it, there'll be a gear icon, and click that. Here, we'll select the Open Roaming profile that was configured previously. So I'm going to select Open Roaming Guide. And this will bring up the settings that we configured for the Open Roaming profile. So in this case, for access policies, I'm accepting all authenticated users with no preferred credentials. Next, for the SSID, we have Open Roaming Guide with a default status of enabled and fast transition adaptive. And finally, we're not configuring carrier offload. So we'll click continue. And then I'm going to select the Catalyst 9800 option. And then I'll enter the WLAN name that was configured on my 9800 exactly. And then click Show Configuration. And here, depending on your iOS XE version, you'll select one of two options. For 17.2.1 or later, select the Catalyst option with 17.21/17.31. And for anything earlier than 17.2.1, select the second option. I'm running 17.5.1, so I'll select the first option. And here, this will generate a configuration with the hotspot Open Roaming ANQP server. And then it also assumes that you'll be using the default wireless policy profile and policy tag. So it'll generate configurations which will apply the Open Roaming hotspot server to the default policy profile, and then mapping your WLAN and the default policy profile into the policy tag. So if you're just going to be using non-default wireless policy profile and policy tag, all you'll have to do is just copy the hotspot ANQP settings as shown in the screen. So now we'll copy this, and you can copy this over into the CLI of the 9800, but also this can be done via the web UI. So I'm going to show you that now. So now we're back in the 9800 web UI, and I'll be using the command line interface tool that's available via the web UI. To access this, we'll go to Administration, Command Line Interface. Next, we'll select the Configure option, and then we'll paste over the configuration that we had copied over from DNA Spaces. Next, we'll click Run Command, and out under each command, there should be a command executed successfully. So we'll just go check to make sure that everything was executed successfully. And it has. So now your Open Roaming ANQP server is ready to be applied to your required wireless policy profile in your deployment.